In the news tonight, concern about the number of derelict structures as a former Bridgetown business place catches fire. Fisher folk upbeat about catches ahead of the start of the fishing season.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
And very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, quick action by the Barbados Fire Service stopped a fire at the old Brankers building in Fontebelle from spreading to surrounding businesses. The building, closed some years ago, caught fire around 3:30 p.m. and several businesses were asked to close while the blaze was brought under control. 25 officers with 6 water tenders from the Bridgetown Port, Arch Hall, St. John and the Bridgetown branch responded. Acting Deputy Chief Fire Officer Marlon Small said the building was considered to be derelict and those types of buildings are always a major risk for fires.
In terms of the derelict buildings, will always pose a challenge, especially if vagrants occupy them. There's always a possibility of fires starting, and therefore we'll be reaching out to the owners of these buildings to make sure that they are properly secured in the future.
Barbados is to have an Accreditation and Qualifications Authority and a National Qualifications Framework. The announcement from Executive Director of the Barbados Accreditation Council, Lisa Gale, as she led off remarks at the BAC's 20th anniversary panel discussion. Mrs. Gale says Cabinet has approved the plans, which represent a major milestone.
What are the deficiencies in the existing one, how we can improve it, etc. And we made a few tweaks. It was already a good path on the road to the advancement of higher education. And we thought that based on where we're going, and then we also acknowledged the number of persons who were without certification in Barbados. And we recognized that lifelong learning had a little bit more meaning, not that it wasn't contemplated before, but we thought that the one access level was insufficient because there are 2 different types of persons technically that don't have qualifications. The ones that are not interested in qualifications, and then the ones who've worked for many years, who have built up some competencies and who we can, through prior learning and assessment, give them a footing to start with some certification. And then we also talk about the persons who are disabled.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the National Transformation Initiative, Dr. the Honorable Alison Leacock, says the stereotype of academic qualifications alone will be addressed in the national framework that's being rolled out.
Our intent is that we align with the CARICOM vision of at least 60% of our workforce having tertiary level qualifications. And basically an ecosystem, an educational ecosystem that is forward-thinking, globally relevant, and promoting Barbadian interests and values. Our mission, in another sense, is that we are enabling Starbadians to shine. And our NTI Starbadians has 2 R's, because it's about selecting, training, assessing, reviewing, and recognizing every Barbadian and the skills and competencies that they have.
15 primary and 10 secondary schools have made it into the finals of the Pontifications and Poetry Competition 2024. Acting Senior Education Officer Dr. Denise J. Charles says the competition is an oratorical showcase for schools. She was speaking at a media conference in the studios here at the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, attended by partners of the initiative. Trevor Thorpe tells us more.
The education officer said Pontifications and Poetry is not merely a competition, it also provides a platform that embodies a commitment by the ministry to transform education in Barbados and the potential of every child.
Language is the cornerstone of communication and understanding. It is through language that we express our thoughts, share our experiences, and connect with the world around us. As we celebrate the finalists of this competition, we recognize the importance of fostering an environment where children can explore the richness of language, hone their oratorical skills, and articulate their views with clarity and passion.
She said the competition fosters a culture of lifelong learning and is a journey empowering children to be curious, resilient, and innovative thinkers.
Our initiatives are designed to empower and to drive meaningful change within our education system. We understand that true transformation requires innovative approaches to student engagement, with these fresh perspectives being designed to foster the development of real-world skills.
General Manager of the Barbados Olympic Association, Glenn Clark, said the initiative sits within the development mandate of Olympiism.
By partnering with the ministry and our other partners, we aim to provide a unique opportunity for students to develop their oratory and poetic skills, which are essential for effective communication and leadership. This initiative aligns perfectly with two of our strategic pillars. Strategic Pillar 1 speaks to inspired excellence and fueling passion, and Strategic Pillar 2, which speaks to transforming lives through sports.
Medical and Health Services Administrator at the Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited, Lisa Brathwaite-Graham, said the initiative resonates through the company as a drive to better the lot of children.
ICBL applauds the efforts and dedication of everyone involved in Pontifications and Poetry 2024. We proudly support this initiative through our sponsorship as we remain committed to the cause of making a way for all.
Coordinator and CBC producer Tisha Hines said the media's involvement cannot be overstated, and the CBC is committed to showcasing the talent of children.
Now, in an age where effective communication is nothing short of paramount, we must cultivate these essential skills in our young people. Oratory skills are powerful tools that can inspire change, foster empathy, and bridge gaps in understanding. By encouraging our students to engage in this form of expression, we're not only nurturing their talent, but also empowering them to become articulate advocates for their own futures and the future of our collective community.
The finals of the competition will take place on November 7th and 8th. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Well, it's time for a break now, but when we come back, we'll tell you about fisher folk. They're upbeat about the fishing season upcoming.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Morning Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morningbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Local fisher folk are still working to ensure their vessels are ready, just weeks away from the start of this year's fishing season. Some of them, however, are reporting good catches. Rachel Agard reports.
There have been a few substantial catches as boat repairs continue. President of the Bridgetown Fisherfolk Association, Adrian Muscles Wiltshire, says this has given them hope for an exceptional fishing season.
I anticipate a pretty decent season because if one boat could catch 40, 50, 60 tunas, that normally would catch like 25, 30 on any good given trip. And he could double that amount in that one trip. I'm not saying it's going to happen all the time, but it shows a promising fish season come November, December period.
Come and get some. He explains Hurricane Beryl has had an impact on their business.
There hasn't been the influx of fish or the amount of fish that we really was looking for. However, most recently, as yesterday, we got a reasonable amount of what we would call the plate size snappers, which range from between ½ pound to £1.5 pound, 2 pound sizes in the market. I personally have some for sale, and when we say a glut, we're looking for a large amount. Well, we would say a glut at this time because it's much more than we was normally getting, and the price is a little better.
Mr. Wiltshire says he can't say specifically how many boat owners have benefited from the assistance promised by government to get their boats back into the water, noting it is still an ongoing process. He says after a shortage of material on island, repairs should continue apace next week.
Most recent as Friday, there were a delivery of some material to an organization that in turn would donate that to help the fishermen in the repairs. As it relates to the vessels, we are seeing on a weekly basis more and more vessels going into the water, but that is also determined by the amount of damage that the vessels sustain.
Fisherfolk are now gearing up for the season ahead. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Investing in education and the health of Barbadians is the focus of the Eric Hassel and Sons Limited team as they celebrate their 55th anniversary. The family-owned shipping agency has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology and presented equipment to the Rotary Club of Barbados. The company's board chairman, Mark Hassel, says the company is not only celebrating its past, but also investing in the future.
We're establishing the Eric Hassel Memorial Scholarship. This program will support up to 10 students in certificate and diploma programs in marine diesel engineering and maritime operations at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology beginning in 2025. Our grandfather always encouraged educational pursuits, and we see this as a way to honor his legacy while directly addressing the growing need for young talent in our industry. Secondly, we're contributing a Symphony breast pump system to the AMI program run by the Rotary Club Barbados. This initiative supports young at-risk mothers and their children, providing resources, equipment, and critical training over an 8-month period.
Board chairman of the SJPI, Corrine Kennedy Tate, says the scholarship reflects Eric Hassel and Sons Limited's shared commitment to fostering the growth of Barbados' maritime industry by investing in students' education.
This MOU signifies the start of a journey where our collaborative effort will strengthen the relationship between industry and education. It reflects our shared vision of preparing the next generation of skilled professionals who will make a significant contribution to the maritime sector. We look forward to this partnership and working closely with you to ensure the success of this initiative.
Well, Mark Seal will be along after the break with the weekend sports.
Good evening with Sports Night. I'm Mark Seal. South Africa have jumped over West Indies for the lead in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Group B. But the Windies have a game in hand, and third place England have 2 games in hand. Today at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, South Africa women defeated Bangladesh women to move to 6 points. Bangladesh led it to bat first and posted 106 for 3. South Africa women then replied with 107 for 3 in 17.2 overs to win by 7 wickets. Player of the match, Tasmin Brits, led the chase with 42. Now South Africa women have 6 points with West Indies and England on 4. The Windies currently have the highest net run rate, but England have an extra game to play. England will play one of those matches tomorrow against Scotland at 6 a.m. It'll be live on MCTV's ESPN Channel 308. In more cricket news here in Barbados, Wildy have victory in sight at the end of Day 2 of Series 5 in the BCA Elite Division. Playing at the Jeffrey Yard Complex, Wildy scored 300 for 6 in their first innings in response to ESA Field Pickwick's 61, with Nimar Bolden getting 119. With a deficit of 239, Pickwick in their second innings are 112 for 7. Now, scores in the other matches at Beccles Road, YMPC 280 for 7 declared and 12 without loss, Wanderers 283 for 6 declared. At Bank Hall, Spartan 260 and 1 without loss, Empire 225. At Leicester Vaughan, BCA Youth 217 and 27 for 2, Gladiola 253 for 9. And at Friendship, UWY 254 and 147 for 2, Yorkshire 305. Switching now to volleyball, Deacons men have secured a semi-final place in the Goddard Enterprises Limited Senior Knockout Competition at the Wildy Gym. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke reports.
Let's serve off with ladies' action where it was a 5-setter between Deacons in the green and Foundation United. The Foundation girls claimed the first 2 sets at 25-18, 25-21. Tyra Johnson with that power spike for the Churchill girls. But Deacons was able to fight their way back into the game, taking the third and fourth sets at 25-22, 25-21, as both teams were on their A game. Deacons going for the kill, but that wall was rock solid. On the second try, the backcourt did the trick. So let's go to that deciding 5th set. Foundation back in the screen now, and Deacons let them know from the outset they meant business. Right, Abby J. Carrington? You could say it was experience over youth here. Deacons the veterans, Foundation the newbies, and the old girls were dishing out the spikes that Shanae boys. But searching for a first win, the Foundation girls flipped the table. Johnson comes in from the outside and it was too hot to handle. This one went down to the wire. It was 17 all on this serve. Foundation picks it up. Here they go to set it up, and Deacons block it into the net. This was the serve for the win, and it was handed to them on a platter. Deacons Zibero just couldn't pick it up. First win in their first game at this level. Foundation United take the deciding set 19-17, beating perennial queens, Deacons. Also needing 5 sets to get a winner was the game between Hill Road in the purple and blue and Carlton. It was a seesaw battle with Hill Road taking the 2nd and 4th sets and Carlton the 1st and 3rd. So this is the deciding 5th. And watch as Aisha Maker is set up and delivers, flooring her Carlton opponent. Hill Road with the serve, it's picked up, and where Carlton looked to set up and execute, oops, it's saved. So Hill Road with a chance yet again, and miscommunication has them another point. Hill Road serves, Carlton keeping it in play, and then gives a free ball. But as Hill Road goes for it, oh no, it's saved. And then what was a simple free ball return found a sleeping front mid-court. Now Carlton was on the winning end. But when it was all said and done, Hill Road, like Foundation, started a campaign with a win, taking the deciding set at 15-11. To the men's action, where Deacons in the black knew a win meant a semi-final place, and so needed all the fireworks like this delivered by Isaiah Francis to do so. Foundation had pulled back the 2nd set in their favor, as this was a true battle. The double block at the net sent the gym into an uproar. But living up to their usual powerful standards, the Deacons men were relentless. That was Darion Hurley. As having taken the first 25-17, the third 25-19, Deacons was able to close out the win at 25-18. That semi-final ticket is secured. The other men's game saw Chargers in the orange dominate Progressive in 3 straight sets. Now that was a solid block at the net. Chargers just had the defense White House style. Again, there was no getting through the wall. Even so, they were delivering the power spikes as well, going on to take the win over Progressive 25-15, 25-14, 25-17.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. Carrie Ann will have the weather next.
Good evening and welcome to the weather news. While unstable weather conditions are impacting us here in Barbados, as a result we had a mix of sunshine, clouds and showers. The winds across the region, they are light to moderate, and afternoon showers impacted the Guianas. Now, the maximum temperature today was 32 degrees Celsius, the minimum 29 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 29 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 77%. Those winds are coming in from the east-southeast. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where unstable weather conditions maintained a mix of sunshine, clouds and showers for us here in Barbados today. We had up to 0.8 millimeter of rainfall in St. George. Meanwhile, those winds, they are peaking at 15 knots for us here in Barbados, and the seas, they are moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. Now, we are asking for sea bathers and small craft operators to exercise caution at this time. Later on tonight, we are expecting a mix of clear and cloudy skies, along with some showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Further south across the Guianas, well, they had some afternoon showers, especially across the northern areas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, there is a trough system there maintaining wet conditions across sections of the Bahamas as well as Cuba. Elsewhere, they had afternoon localized showers. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Morning Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morningbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:48 and will set at 5:41. Now, the first high tide, that's expected at 3 minutes after 1 in the afternoon, and the first low at 6:24 a.m. Those seas are moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. The winds, they're coming in from the east and they're peaking at 35 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, unstable weather conditions will continue to impact us. We are expecting a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with some showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, a trough system is expected to maintain occasionally cloudy skies along with showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. That's tomorrow. Thereafter, we are expecting that the ridge pattern will dominate. As a result, we can expect fair to partly cloudy skies along with just a few light showers.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Morning Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morningbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Well, that's our news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.